grew up in rural Oklahoma with the waving weed aroma. When the wind comes sweeping down the plains, he dreamed of heading out west, putting himself to the test, and just leaving behind that sea of grains. His library had this book with places to go and look, where the seas are really a great salt lake. It said everyone can float out here just like a boat, and he thought, what a hell of an adventure to take. After college he packed up his car, but he didn't really get that far before the call came in that said your daddy's sick. So he turned right around, heading back to his hometown, and planted his little roots that grew up thick. Sometimes it hits you like a punch in the face, so what a disgrace, with the ones that come flying in from out of nowhere. But there's just one thing to do, you gotta stand up and choose to fight till you lose, or you're standing square. Weeks turned to years, and a son turned into a dad, and he couldn't find the time to travel up there. But he never forgot that dream, contrary to what it seems. But the life he had was filled with many fulfilled prayers. Now that he has gotten older, his wife, he finally told her of his dream and where he really wanted to go. Retired, she said, we have the time, so in here let me chime. Let's head out there after the doctor tomorrow. The doctor found a quirk and ordered up some blood work. If it's anything, we'll give you all a call. They continued their drive to keep his dream alive, only to find the diagnosis wasn't that small. Sometimes it hits you in the punch to the face, with the ones that come flying from out of nowhere. But there's only one thing to do, you gotta stand up and choose to fight until you lose, or are standing square. He made it maybe 1,000 miles before that phone rang. They said stage 2 or 3, and he just let his phone, his head hang. Outside was triple degrees, and he still had a half mile to climb. He was feeling really weak and thinking, maybe next time. Sometimes it hits you like a punch to the face. What a disgrace, with the ones that come flying in from out of nowhere. But there's one thing you got to do, you gotta stand up and choose to fight until you lose, or you're standing square. With his wife by his side, he continued his ride on this life without living with any regret. So he stepped out of the car, I mean a half mile ain't that far, saying, Lord, I ain't done just yet. He cursed up and down and he swore until he reached that lake shore, took his shoes off and dipped in his toes. And then with a devilish grin, he plunged right in, without care, remorse, or any woe. When they finally got back, the doctors and them planned their attack with a round of chemo and with a round of surgery and chemo. But now filled with life and the love of his wife, he fought off all the cancer with the vigor he knows. Sometimes it hits you like a punch in the face. Oh, the disgrace when the ones that come flying from out of nowhere. But there's one thing to do. You gotta stand up and choose to fight until you lose or stand in the square.